Perfect.
Little injury happened.
I did. You know, Andre, God bless him, was 450 pounds, 7'4", and Bill Goldman called him the eighth wonder of the world. And he described him thusly. He said he was like the Pentagon. No matter how many times people told you how big the Pentagon is, you had to be standing in front of it to appreciate it. And that was true of Andre. And what's so funny is that whenever you spoke to Andre, you had to talk to him like this, with your neck, like that. And he called everybody boss, which made no sense at all because, you know, nobody was Andre's boss, right? Andre, God bless him, could not get around the set easily. And we were filming on these mountains in the Peak District, Derbyshire. And the production had to figure out a way to get Andre up to the set. So if you open up your phones and Google Andre the Giant and all-terrain vehicle, or ATV, you will see a picture of Andre on a little three-wheeler red all-terrain vehicle. Looks like a tricycle. Looks like the one the puppet drives in Saw. It's tiny, yeah? And so that's how he got around, and he would speed around on this thing. And he loved it.
Was it actually tiny, or was Andre being so big?
Andre being so big, and if you look at the picture, you'll see he's happier than he's ever been. And he would zoom around this thing, and he'd come up to me while I was shooting. I was shooting the scene with Buttercup where I have to fall down the mountain and say those three words, right? And he came up to me and he goes,
"Hey boss."
I go, "Hi Andre, how you doing?" He goes,
"You like my toy?"
I said, "Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun."
"It is a lot of fun. You want to try it?"
And I went, "Well, Andre, I have to shoot a scene right now, maybe later."
"Okay."
And he just took off like that. 10 minutes later, we're setting up for another shot. Big, loud, old man.
"Hey boss."
"Yes, Andre."
"Are you ready to try my toy?"
I said, "Well, Andre..." This went on all day long. Finally, he comes up to me and he says,
"You know you want to."
Like that, right? So I'm thinking, twit that I am, I go, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So I took off my mask. I thought that was a good start. I took off my mask. I got on this thing, and his bodyguard, he had a bodyguard, like he needed one. I said to this guy, "What are you guarding him from, the flu?" Ridiculous, right? The guy goes, "Oh, it's very easy, governor. It's just like a motorbike. Clutch pedal, brakes, on-off switch, Bob's your uncle." That should have told me something, right? So I got on this thing, and I put it in gear, and I didn't go 2 feet, and I went over a rock and snapped my left big toe, just snapped it in half. So now I'm freaking out, right? And I'm thinking, we're 1 week into shooting, and they're gonna fire me, because how am I gonna fence with a broken foot, broken toe? So now the set nurse comes over, and they're all running over to me, and I'm freaking out, and I'm thinking, I'll just pretend it's fine. Like a twit that I am, I'm like, yeah, sure, it'll be fine. And the set nurse comes over and goes, "Oh, what's happened to you?" I said, "Nothing. I was thinking I was like the Black Knight in Monty Python and the Holy Grail." No, it's just the flesh wound. It's nothing. It's just a scratch. It's nothing. So they take the boot off, and there's my toe, and it's bent in all the wrong direction and swollen and everything. She goes, "Oh, look at that. Looks broken." I said, No, it's just a scratch. She goes, "No, look, it's pointing in the wrong direction, everything." I said, "Well, you've got to help me. I've got to shoot the scene where I'm rolling down the hill. What can you do?" She goes, "I'm a set nurse. I don't have nothing for broken bones. I've got something in here for headaches, something for a tummy ache. You've got to go to the hospital for that." So I said, "You've got to do something, please." She said, "Oh, I can make a splint, maybe, a makeshift splint." I said, "Great, do that." So she got a couple of twigs, and she pushed the toe back in. That didn't hurt at all. And taped it to my other toes, and I got up, and they had to cut a hole in the back of the boot, and I got up and I walked over to the van and drove up to the set, right? Now it's the longest drive ever took. I'll never forget, the set nurse in the back turned to the AD and she goes, "I think he fell on his head as well." I get to the set, and there's Rob Reiner, the director, and he had his beard right there, and he's scratching it like this, and he sees me get out of the van, and I decided to put all my weight on my foot and just walk right up to him and pretend it's no big deal, right? And I go up to him and I go, "Hey Rob." He goes, "Hey Cary, how you doing?" And I said, "I'm fine. What a beautiful day." can't wait to get to work. How are you? He goes, I'm fine, but how are you doing? Like that. And I knew immediately that he knew, right? So I said, Rob, I'm so sorry. I feel like such a twit. I was fooling around on Andre's all-terrain vehicle, and I went over a rock, and I think I broke my toe. And he goes, you think I don't know? I'm the director here. I'm the first guy they tell. He said, can you walk? I said, yeah, I can walk. He goes, can you run? I go, well, it'll be an interpretive dance. So if you look at the scene now where I'm running into the fire swamp with Buttercup, you'll see my interpretive dance as I tell her that her big fiance is too late. So yes, lesson learned. 1, always tell the truth. It's easier. 2, never go fooling around an all-terrain vehicle unless you know what you're doing. Okay? So I learned.
I mean, every story just sounds like it was a really magical time, and you worked with a lot of really, really cool
That's too
people,
good.
and huge personalities, and not just as physically big as Andre.
Oh, there he is. Look at there he is.
That's great. Andre on the ATV.
He loved that thing. My God.
I would think one of the biggest personalities was the Sicilian mastermind himself, Vicini, played by Wallace Shawn, but I heard he was actually a little nervous about playing that role.
I know, it's very strange. Wally Shawn, you guys all know him from Vicini, right? And he is a very smart guy. He's a playwright, he's a Rhodes Scholar, he speaks 5 languages, he teaches English literature around the world, English and American literature. And, you know, I only had this one scene with him, the Battle of Wits scene, right? And I thought, he has all the heavy dialogue. All I do is sit there and go, man, maybe, oh, your turn, whatever, right? Very easy stuff. And he had all this dialogue about never get involved in a land war in Asia, and how Aristotle and Socrates are morons, all that stuff, right? But he was sweating that day. And it was so weird, Bernie. I was like thinking, why is the smartest guy in the room, Wally Shawn, sweating over this little scene? Turns out his agent told him he was not the first choice for the role. His agent told him that Danny DeVito was the first choice. I know, inconceivable, right? Inconceivable. And he had this stuck in his head that he was just standing in for Danny DeVito, and that Danny DeVito was somewhere on a plane about to arrive. And he kept walking up to him going, I know I'm just standing in here for Danny, and I'm sure I'll be fired tomorrow. And we're like saying to him, you're crazy. He even went up to Rob Reiner and goes, I don't know why you cast me in this role. I'm not a Sicilian, I'm a Jew from New York. And Rob said to him, but you're funny. You know, when you yell, your face goes red, it's funny. And to this day, I don't think he realizes how great he is in this role. And you know, I have it very lucky. I have those 3 lines, as you wish, right? That I get to say every day almost, right? But if Wally's out in the open and he drops his keys, or misses an elevator, he gets inconceivable maybe 5-10 times a day. It's crazy. He told me he was running to catch a flight one time, and they closed the gate, and they went, inconceivable. So, poor guy, for the rest of his life.
So, from maybe one of the shorter folks on cast to the tallest, what was the first day or the first meeting with Andre like?
First meeting was amazing. You know, he blocks the sun when you stand in front of him. It's just incredible. You just know he's there because suddenly it's like a cloud covering the sun. It's amazing. And when he shook your hand, your hand would just disappear inside of it, you know. But he always had this beautiful grin on his face, beautiful smile, always happy, beautiful guy. First scene we had to shoot was on the parapet of Florin Castle, where I'm mostly dead, and Montoya is there, and I come to after doing the miracle pill, right? And they have the first bit of dialogue. I think it's Fezzik says,
I wonder how long before the pill takes effect.
and I think Montoya says, your guess is as good as mine, and then I come to and I say, where am I? I'll fight you both together, I'll beat you both apart, right? Is that right? And I think, and then Fezzik says,
I guess not very long.
like that. And this was our first scene together. And when he got to the line long, Andre let out the most monumental fart. No, seriously, look, we've all accused each other of giants farts. This was a giant's fart, people. You know the scene in the movie where he goes,
Everybody move.
and the whole town stops, and it was like that. The whole set, everybody, even I looked over at the sound guy, and he was lifting the headset off his head because he wanted to protect his eardrum. It was so loud. Somebody timed it. It went on for 16 seconds. That's a long time. 16 seconds. What did he eat? We'll get to that in a minute. So, was made of plywood because we didn't have a real wall and everyone was holding on to it. It was shaking and the whole thing. I looked up at him. I made the mistake of looking up at him, and he had smoke coming out of the top of his head, and his eyes were shut, and he looked so happy, like he'd been holding on to something for way too long, and he was letting out. Just incredible. And you know what's so funny? In America, when people accuse each other of farts, you guys talk about it openly. You're like, come on, dude, open the window, eh?